Is the Mythic unique drop rate worse in Season 8 than in previous seasons? No. On my first Andariel kill, do I get a Mythic unique? No. But not because the drop rates are bad. On run 11, we find a 1-star Fields of Crimson. Also, a Vex rune. On run 14, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find an Ahu rune. The amount of runs where both Andariel and Belial dropped loot with no greater affixes at all was 59 runs. On run 19, we find a 2-star Tibalt's. On run 21, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a Zal rune. On run 22, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a 1-star Tacits of the Dawning Sky. Also, a 1-star X-Fal ring. The number of uniques that had exactly one greater affix from both Andariel and Belial was 43 uniques. On run 33, we find a 1-star Butcher's Cleaver. Also, a Yule rune. On run 35, we find a Mythic unique. Oh! A Ring of Starless Skies. Mythic, baby! On run 36, we find a Yule rune. The number of legendary runes that dropped over the 100 runs was 6 legendary runes. On run 55, we find a Mythic unique. Ho! A Shroud of False Death. Oh, look at that Mythic, baby! On run 59, we find a Mythic unique. You know, once you... Oh ho ho! A Doombringer. Oh, I'm all about them Professor Plums! That's a clue reference to purple. On run 67, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a 1-star Tibalt's. On run 75, we find a 2-star Banished Lord's Talisman. 2 stars! The most amount of consecutive runs where Belial did not spawn was 29 runs in a row. On run 76, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a 1-star X-Fal ring. On run 77, we find a Mythic unique. Ho ho ho! A Melted Heart. Ah, the purples, baby! On run 80, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a 2-star X-Fal ring. On run 81, we find a Mythic unique. Ho ho ho! A Grandfather. Mythic, baby! Again! Also, a 1-star Flicker Step. On run 88, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? No. We find a 1-star Soulbrand. On run 89, we find a Mythic unique. Ho ho ho! A Doombringer. Doombringer, baby! On run 97, we have a Belial spawn. Does he drop a Mythic unique? Ho ho ho! A Grandfather. Oh, I'm all about them Professor Plums! That is the first time I got a Mythic from Belial. Also, a 1-star Tuskhelm. The amount of times Belial spawned in the 100 runs was 13 times. On run 100, the final run, do we get a mythic unique? No. We find an Ohm rune. 7 mythic uniques from Andariel and Belial. Proof that the drop rates are fine.